Hey, what's up, everybody? Alright, yeah, it's not even my birthday yet. Today's like the 7th or something like that. But I'm going to post this on my birthday. So, happy birthday to me, type shit. Now, you guys were asking about, how was it? It was almost like the same thing, but just worded differently. One guy, how come I was so mean? A bully, I think was a dick, pretty much. Why was I a dick to other writers? Now, I don't know if you're being a dick by asking me that, or if it's an honest question. And like I said, I don't write graffiti no more. I don't do nothing wrong, actually. I've been living a 100% honest life. I don't give a fuck. So, I'll talk about anything. And the other one was why, wasn't I scared writing graffiti by myself on the subways in mid-late 80s, early 80s, mid-late 80s, when they died up to 89. And then some. I actually wrote a little bit when they were clean, too. I took a shot at it, see what could happen with it, you know. All right, well, I'm going to answer those two questions. It's pretty funny, like right now, this week, you know, like July 4th, I always take these weeks off from work, and this is pretty important when it comes to street graffiti. I didn't have this job when the trains were going, I was young. Especially because of the street graffiti, every year I would always take off these 2 or 3 weeks in July. Just to write graffiti, write graffiti, write graffiti. You know, I'd watch all year round. I'd sit there and watch and see who's being a dick, you know? I'd go over them, you know, in the winter. I'd sit there and I'd see who's fucking crossing my shit out, or who's just being an asshole, whatever. So within these couple of weeks, I'd take care of all my business. And my vacation would be over. I've been doing this for years, man, years. This is for years, up until my arrest, of course. You know, the other, 2017 after my arrest. And the year before that, too, I really didn't do nothing. Actually, when they arrested me in 2017, the one who was in the newspaper, on the news and shit, I actually wasn't really that active at that point. It was strange. But, yeah, fuck that. We'll talk about that some other time. Anyway, yeah, so to answer these questions, I don't know, like, to go writing graffiti by myself, and it's nothing to be scared of in the trains and shit like that. Like, there's like not no boogeyman or some kind of urban legend or something. You just gotta be careful, you know. You gotta know your way around. I've had almost a good 8-year run on the subways. I think like 82, 83, straight on up until 89. So, you know, I had a good run on them. The first few years, very slow, very not even existent almost. Was in group homes and shit like that, SPOF. All right, I'll answer the question. Why was I mean, or why was I a dick to other writers? You apparently, I'm not going to blow up this spot or nothing. I honestly don't remember the time you're talking about, but apparently I stole a couple of cans of spray paint from you or something like that. When you were about to go write graffiti, and I took it from you. And I apparently had more paint, and I was leaving or something like that. I probably stole that paint from other writers, caught you and stole your paint also. Because it doesn't make sense that I'd be leaving a layup with a bunch of paint, but I did all types of weird shit. And I took a lot of LSD, a lot of mescaline, a lot of mushrooms and shit, but I mean, yeah, it's possible. But why did I do it? For such a cheap, chintzy thing, and I guess this is the reason right here. Here it is, what, 30, 40 fucking years later? 40 something years later, maybe? And you're talking about it. So, yeah, that's it right there. Like I was saying, actually I never actually published that one, but I had a pretty good one I was going to put on, but I didn't bother. But, you know, you kind of, like, I looked at this graffiti thing as, it was fun and games. I mean, it wasn't like I was no style master or wordsmith or lettersmith or nothing like that. I just did big, huge blockbusters, a bunch of tags on the insides. I did not participate in any wild style burners whatsoever. That's a technique I stayed away from. I mean, you had people like Park, TDS out there, just all those guys, TMT, TDS, a bunch of different groups. I mean, I grew up on that shit. I mean, I had nothing to offer that, you know. In my mind, I mean, who knows? Maybe I could have been a good word letter guy. I mean, I'm pretty artistic. But Lace, he did a lot of pieces. He's had ones in that movie Style Wars at the beginning. And a lot of books. That book, Getting Up, the very first book or something like that, or one of them very early on books. He had a piece in it. Lace has been around for a while, man. He used to bomb with this guy Smiley, the TED, the Ebony Dukes, and shit like that. He's had a lot of weird, interesting bombing partners, you know. And he goes back pretty far, and he was pretty much into that stuff. But me, man, give a rat's ass personally. I mean, you know, part TDS, like I said, it's amazing, man. I was even on some podcast, this Angel Z thing. I was talking about it. It's like probably right now, as we're speaking, part TDS is probably actually someone doing a piece. Like, I mean, it goes back to like before, like, I mean, way back. As far back as I can remember being a child, taking the subways, the lines he hit, like, yo, part TDS. I mean, wow. For real, that dude was amazing. No other way to put it. I mean, just off the hook. You know, the shit he did. A lot of groups. Fed 5. There's a lot of different people out there tearing that shit up. But, anyway, getting back to those two questions. And like I was saying before, you know, I went on to Spofford early on. I was like, I literally went into Spofford. I was 15 years old. They send you there to, I mean, I'm not blaming the system on my forthcomings, but, you know, just, and I'm not pleading my innocence either. I mean, shit happens, man. So, you know, I've taken a lot of losses. I got my face sliced open, fucking 175th Street, A tunnel, right in the feet. Shit happens. I took the shit. But anyway, you got to realize me, 15 years old, skinny white boy, probably about 135 pounds or something like that. Maybe 6 feet, a little shorter than 6 feet. I was tall for my age. Very thin. You know, I went into Spofford, man. Yo, ain't no love up there, man. I mean, it's not even like a racial thing, but like honestly, I was like the only white dude there, like in that fucking place. Like even the people that were working there were like black, Spanish, so like, you know, the people weren't even speaking to me. You know, I mean, I was just getting thumped out, you know, just bump, 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 like constant beat downs. So I was getting sliced with fucking weird little things like razors and shit like that all down my back. I remember sweating and shit. Fucking, they broke my fucking rib cage, man. Nah, that shit was horrible. For like the first week and a half, it was a fucking nightmare. I honestly couldn't figure how much further I could put up with this shit, you know? I honestly felt like I could die in this place, Spofford. And then one day, early in the morning, it was like 5 something in the morning, they bring you out to the showers. As I'm walking in the shower, it's like literally 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, or some shit like that. And I look on the floor, you see something, it's like shiny. It's really cute. And I pick it up. It actually winds up being a little piece of a chain link fence. That's what it looked like to me. Like a piece of that chain link fence type shit. And I took that, like I said, I was all sliced. I was getting the shit kicked out of me. I knew, like, in a matter of just me walking to the shower, someone's gonna fuck with me. And bigger and shit. Someone did. I took this piece of metal. Tweet, tweet. And I got him in the rib cage. I believe he popped his lungs. And I fell down. Like, you know, now this shit's good. And after that, yo, no more incidents. Like, that shit got around. There was actually a Spanish dude came up to me. Actually, still a friend of mine. I'll tell you a funny story about him. He's like, yo, come. You know, it's like the first person that actually acknowledged me as a fucking human being. Like, touched my arm that actually had the thing in there. There's another inmate's kid, you know, like, Spofford, you go there and you sit there until they figure out where they're going to shoot you off to, you know. So, all this, so I hung out with him for a little while. I wound up going, I forget, Grasslands or Hawthorne. I've been to them all, Lincoln Hall, a bunch of different places, you know, Pleasantville Cottages. But anyway, you know, going through that environment, I mean, it's hard to explain, like, a 15-year-old child, man. Like, imagine this shit. Like, I watch all this shit about, like Rwanda and, like, Mobutu and, like, fucking Idi Amin and, like, and even, like, Kosovo and, like, children of these like war-torn areas, man. They're like fucking traumatized, man. So like, you know, like I said, like 15 fucking years old, man. I don't think, oh, yeah, like someone could actually fathom what it's like to be fighting for your life. Fight for your life at that fucking age. I don't think you can fathom that shit unless you've been there, man. And like I said, man, I was just like destroyed day in and day out. Almost to the point where I was like, I don't see how I can function. Like, this ain't life. You know what I mean? And then, like, it was like a gift from God, this piece of metal I found on the floor. After that, everything was good. You know, it's funny now, the person that actually touched me made contact with me, told me, oh, chill, 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 you know, put that shit away. He actually slipped me out, he hooked me up. Talked to him a little bit longer, maybe 4 or 5 days. And he disappeared, they shipped him off somewhere, but people weren't fucking with me after that. But many years passed, well, not even that many. I don't know, 15, maybe by the time I'm 18 years old. I'm on like 118th or 120th Street, no, 121st from First Ave. So I got a shotgun and this dude's fucking, you know, I'm robbing drug dealers with JJ. What we would do is we would take these, we had this big KLR 650. It's a motorcycle. We spray painted the fucking thing all flat black, right? And what we would do is, we had this motorcycle helmet, and it has a visor, it comes down over your thing, right? Spray paint the whole fucking thing black. JJ 357, John Zavola's, he's dead now, he died like 80s. He didn't even make it to 18 years old. He was about 3 or 4 years younger than me. It was a couple of years before he passed away this happens. So we spray paint the whole fucking visor of the thing, right? So then, you know, we're thinking, you know, just gonna scratch a hole in it or something, but you can't just scratch it. So he gets this drill, right? Drills a hole in the fucking thing. He starts spreading it around so in the visor. So he's got one hole like this is drilled in this motorcycle helmet fucking visor, right? The whole thing spray painted flat black. Drills one hole, right? And he tries to drill another one next to it. And the thing cracks, right? So now he's got this thing with the visor. You know, like I said, we don't want to get seen robbing drug dealers in Harlem, so we disguise ourselves. We're on a motorcycle, so you have a helmet, you have the visor up. When you're off that shit, click. What up? You know, you got this shit going, you know, so it worked, it's good. And it's also a good scare tactic. What Judge ended with this helmet, man, it was genius. So anyway, you know, so now it's got one big hole, you know, in the visor, and it's all black, the whole helmet. You know, one visor. Big fucking hole, like it's drilled in. It's got like pieces of little plastic. And it's got a big crack, like a piece of, like a slice of pizza, coming like this, missing from it. And he looked through the other one, right? And he took white house paint. I think he was actually trying to draw this, but he painted right here with a big paintbrush, just a drop of it. So now he's got this white paint that just dripped all, I mean, this fucking motorcycle helmet looked horrid, man. Just to think of this now, just to get this picture in your head. JJ 357 wasn't even 5 feet tall, man. This fucking dude was like 4 feet something, man. He was like fucking Chucky. Like Chucky, Child's Play. I mean, God rest his soul, man. He actually, I don't know, people were looking for him once. He bleached his fucking hair. Jenny Akins bleached his hair for him. And the shit was red like fucking Chucky. So, yeah, we used to fuck with him. And they would even wear like these acid wash jeans and shit. Like, yo, a striped shirt. We were like, oh shit, yo, Chucky all the way. But a JJ 357, man, God rest his soul. So you gotta realize, it was like this tall. It's in the winter, he had a CB jacket on, like a ski jacket. They were pretty fashionable back then. He had a navy blue one. Zipped up. So you hop off the motorcycle. Now me, what I did, I had an army coat on. I took a sweatshirt that I had, right? And I cut the sleeve off of one. I just pulled that over my head and I cut 2 holes in it. I have it wrapped up like this, you know. We didn't even have a helmet. We didn't have a license plate. The motorcycle stolen. If a cop sees you, it goes, boop, boop, you got to go. You got to just go for it. I mean, that's how we were, you know. So, let me get there. Pull my shit down. You know, yeah, it's all that shit, you know. I had the shotgun at this point, you know. He was just keeping the motorcycle. So walk to him, run your shit, just blah, 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 right? So, you know, I always had, I preferred, like, you get a shotgun. You get these things in Models out in Long Island, or even up in Westchester. You go into Models, you buy them. But I found, in my experience in doing shit like this in the streets, It's better to get a side-by-side. Never get an over and under shotgun or a pump. It's garbage. I've done it. I mean, you get the sword-off shotgun. This is how it works. You chop the blade, the fucking barrel off it. Bink. You chop the fucking stock off it. Bink. Hacksaw right through the fucking thing. Leave it all charred and nasty. Perfect fucking weapon. You pull that shit out like I did with that dude, you know? Anyway, I'm looking at him. I'm like, oh, this guy. It wound up being that dude. From Spofford. It's like maybe 4 years later. So I'm like, hey, how's it going there, man? You know, I just put the gun to the side, going up to my arm. I mean, this thing was like the size of a Nike sneaker after you get done chopping it off, you know? So I was actually like, yo, this, that, blah, 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 blah. It's good seeing you, peace. And meanwhile, I was like, you know, I was thinking, I was like, you know, I didn't know it was you, but you know, this, that. Hopped on a motorcycle and took off, you know? But yeah, it's funny, you know, it's crazy the shit we did with these motorcycles, man. We stole so many fucking motorcycles. We'd get them from Columbus Circle, right near the fucking Christopher Columbus statue. It's like a whole block, just motorcycle, 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 one after the other, after the other, after the other. You know, we'd grab one from there. You know, first we'd skim through there because we had orders, like people wanted certain bikes. So we're like, yo, just put it this way: if you had a motorcycle in Manhattan, back around the late '80s when these fucking sports bikes were really starting to pop off, the Ninja 1000s, Ninja 6s, GSXs. If you had that shit and you parked that shit in the streets of Manhattan for more than 3 or 4 days, yo, we knew it was there, man. We knew it was there, man. We were already scheming on that shit. Believe me, man. We were out there like that, man. And this all becomes important later on when it starts talking about street riding. You know, I started actually tearing up the streets when the subways go dead. It's just the way we knew Manhattan Island, you know, it was like, it's a grid. It's a fucking grid, you know, it's like graph paper. But anyway, yeah, we would steal the motorcycles from there. We'd also steal a lot of motorcycles from this place in Gramercy Park. That's like Park Avenue South. It's like when you go down Park Avenue around the 20s or something like that, it's called Gramercy Park area. There's a little park in the middle. It's always locked and no one could ever go hang out in the fucking place. But all around there, there's always nice motorcycles. So yes, we would steal a lot of motorcycles from there too. We had a bunch of different little places. John Jay College, catch a couple over there. Up along the Upper West Side there, what the fuck is that? Riverside Drive area, whipple through there, yeah, you get a couple motorcycles out of there, you know? Yeah, we had spots, we had places. But anyway, check this out. We had this one order. Like I said, people would tell us what they want, how much they're going to give us for it. So we're like, oh, I'll do that shit right now. You know, so this pizza parlor. Now, I don't really fuck with them like that. I've known them my whole life, but they didn't like me. I mean, I was like in special education, and me and my brother were kind of goofy. Like, you know, just always setting it off, weird shit. So they kind of stayed, you know, later. But anyway, I mean, we'd go in there and buy a slice of pizza and shit like that. But they told Frankie Gator, he's dead now too. He died like a year or two ago. Man, he was a good dude, man. Put in a lot of work with that dude, man. They told Frankie Gator, you know, if it was a Ninja 1000, it might have been a Ninja 600R. I believe it was a Ninja 1000, 1987. Yeah, it was the year 87. So, the pizza parlor says he knows someone that wants one, this, that. So we got it. Frankie Gator goes back into the pizza parlor. And he's all right, I'm going to call a guy. So then the first day we don't got nothing. The second day, meanwhile, you know, like Alpo's uptown and shit, like we got people we could sell this shit to, you know what I mean? And it's just, it's not happening. So we're like, oh, what the fuck? And finally the next day, the guy's like, all right, he'll meet you on like 28th and 10th Avenue or something, like Chelsea area. Now this is why I was pointing out this Gramercy Park spot. So they got us going to 27th, 28th Street. In Chelsea, you know, it's like 9th, 10th Avenue. The Skyline's there. It's what's called the Skyline. And back then it was just train tracks and shit like that. You know, this is even before Revs. Well, Revs, he was very familiar with that neighborhood. I mean, not Revs, the other guy, Cost. The other guy, yeah, Cost. I know Cost very well, actually. But yeah, Cost actually was from around that area before he bounced out to Queens. Like when he used to chill with us, he used to live around that area there, you know. But this is before the Costs. But those tracks. The only reason I mention these people is the tracks that are up there. What do they call them now? The High Line? It used to be train tracks for the meat packing district and shit. But I remember, we get there. Now this is the way it's going. You got Frankie Gator. He was on a FJ1200. These things are made by Yamaha. I remember it like it was yesterday. Big red and white motorcycle. You know, fast as fuck, 1200 cc's. Fucking beast. So he's got this motorcycle. He actually legally got it at this point. What he did is you buy a frame. You know, you buy the motorcycle frame, FJ 1200 motorcycle frame. That's got the serial numbers on it and shit. Then you run out and you steal an FJ 1200 motorcycle. You switch all the parts onto it. I believe this is before they would even stamp the engines or whatever. I don't know. I never got into that shit. I stole them and sold them, stole them and sold them. But he actually figured out a way to legally own an FJ 1200. He's dead now. Like I said, he died 2-3 years ago. But so he had this FJ12. He was on his by himself. We were on the Ninja 1000. When I say we, meaning me and JJ, because we were going to break off Frankie. Frankie Gator SQ. He used to write Squirt SQ 357. But we were going to break him off money. He was going to go his way on his FJ12. I believe, I don't know where. I think he was actually going up to Sleepy Hollow or some crazy shit with his girlfriend Felicia or something like that. I forget. But happens is we get there. Now he spins around. Frankie Gator is right there. Right? So now, you know, we're like literally in the middle of the street. It's just like rows of parked cars and shit. And there's like a garage where they can't park. You know, so we're in the middle of the street. JJ stops the motorcycle. Right? As soon as he stops, you know, I start to get off. I got my long legs and shit. I reach my leg off the fucking thing, right? As soon as I'm on the ground like this, JJ's facing this way. You know, he's facing that way with the headlight and shit, you know. Let me go here. He's facing this way. I'm facing this way. As soon as I got off the bike, like I said, I took my leg over like this, put it like that. Face like this. He's facing out. I'm like this. I'm looking at the high line, and I'm thinking to myself, this shit don't feel right. You know what I mean? Like you get a weird, like a spidey senses. Like this is a perfect fucking location to get fucked up. Like I remember thinking that shit because yo, everything was so easy. We had like 3-4 months. It's just here, boom, here, like we're dealing with the Asian gangs downtown. Yo, here's your motorcycle. Boom, here's your money. Boom, yo, this, that, boom, boom, boom. Just getting paid, stealing motorcycles. Never no problem. But I always have a rule too. Like even when writing graffiti, this is important. The minute things are going too smooth is the minute I start getting nervous. You know, like in the train tunnels, I've always learned this too. Like if you ain't see a train go by for a long fucking time, they might shut that track down coming to get your ass. That's normally the first sign of a fucking raid. Ain't nothing go by for a while. You're like, yo, with the fuck, yeah. But anyway, I had this feeling in my heart, you know, like, damn, this shit kind of sucks, man. We're kind of out of here, yo, butt naked, man. All of a sudden, you know, like I said, JJ's facing that way. He's like, you know, people, right? So I asked him, what are they, cops? So I don't know, 6 o'clock, like right behind me. He said, 6 o'clock. They look like fancy Puerto Ricans. So I said, fancy Puerto Ricans? He's like, yeah, they just came out that door. I said, they're probably the people for this motorcycle, you know. So I turn around. You know, there's a turnaround. He comes up to me. And it's funny that he mentioned to this fancy Puerto Ricans because, I mean, you know, he's walking like George Jefferson, you know. It's like the weirdest fucking thing ever, man. Like the way this guy's like bebopping around and shit. Hold on one second. I got someone yelling at my window. Yo, I can't. I'm videoing a video for YouTube. I'll talk to you later. All right, yo. Sorry, man. Peace. And where was it? Yeah, so, motorcycle. You know, I get off the motorcycle. I go like this, fancy Puerto Ricans. Then when he said that, it was like, seriously, like a dude that was short, like JJ, like this. He was like this tall. I'm not. He's like, yo, you like stealing a motorcycle? This, that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh shit, like, you know, like what the fuck? As he just smashed me right in the face. You know, at first I thought he was saying some shit about like, something on the area is like, yo, you guys with the motorcycle or something like that. Like, you know, this whole kind of fucking event, you know. But that was their plan. They'd throw you off guard. They definitely knocked me off my rocker with that shit. I was confused. So, smashes me right in the face with fucking 9mm. Before he does, he goes, shh. So at that point, I'm like, fuck, I knew it, fuck, you know, in my mind, I'm like, fuck. So anyway, you know, he's going, bash, right in the fucking face. But to do that, he actually had to hop up, because this guy was very short, right? So he's like, you like stealing motorcycles, this, that. You steal motorcycles from Chelsea, this, that, blah, blah, blah. You have it. I was like, no. You know what I mean? Like I got blood trickling down. So he takes it in, bang! He said, don't play stupid, motherfucker, this, that. Now, at this point, like I'm bleeding a lot. It's not really hurting, but I'm exaggerating. I mean, the dude's beating me with a fucking gun. I don't have a gun. JJ don't have a gun. At this point, there's a big guy who already knocked JJ off the motorcycle. Well, JJ's very short too, not even 5 feet tall. He's on his ass like just crawling backwards. Big dude, actually had a mustache. This guy looked like he might have been Irish or something, you know. So, anyways, yo, this, you don't know how fucking lucky you are. You don't know how fucking lucky you are. This, that. And he's literally like bopping around like George Jefferson and shit, you know. In my mind, I'm like, oh, I guess we ain't getting paid. You know, for the motorcycle, like the big dude, like I said, he knocked JJ 357 off the motorcycle. He just started wheeling it into the building that they came from. And there was another guy that was with him that was holding the door while he wheeled the bike in. He's popping all this shit. Yo, you don't know how fucking lucky you are, man. Anthony Casso, gas pipe, man. You don't know, like some crazy shit. And he kept saying, Anthony Casso, the gas pipe. And I don't know how lucky I am, and this and that, you know. So like, yeah, whatever, you know. Took our motorcycle, they robbed us. Apparently, what I got from the whole thing was I actually figured, I thought it was a Puerto Rican dude that was pissed off. Like we stole his motorcycle from somewhere around Gramercy Park and they just robbed us for a motorcycle. They probably told the pizza parlor guy the kind of motorcycle they had stolen, thinking they were going to get their motorcycle back, but we ran out and stole another one probably from somewhere totally else or something. I don't know what the fuck. But yeah, that's the impression I got. Somehow, might not have even been us, but I mean, we were robbing a lot of fucking motorcycles. But apparently, people are stealing motorcycles from Gramercy Park area. Now, you know, Manhattan mob. Later on, I realized Anthony Casso. Actually, when he passes away, when he gets arrested, something about these mafia cops. I'm reading about in the newspaper, and I see Anthony Casso, gas pipe Anthony Casso. So I'm reading all this crazy shit. I'm like laughing. I'm like, oh shit, that's the fucking dude. That's the dude. It's like maybe 12 years later or something like that. I'm like, oh shit, that's the fucking guy. Maybe 8 years later. You know, once the GPS came out and fucking LoJack, once LoJack came out, I ain't steal no more motorcycles. I never touched another. I've actually never even been on another motorcycle since JJ 357 has died. And when he died in a motorcycle accident in Queens, he didn't even make it to 18 years old. So I actually never been on a motorcycle after that. So this happened around that period of time. Fucking hot, yo. Give me fucking dying in here, yo. See, I got the window closed, you know. Fucking all the noise with the traffic. I got people yelling at my window and shit. But anyway, yeah, there was this guy Anthony Casso. I'm watching on this whole thing play out, like the court, it's on the news and shit like that. I'm like, wow, that's that fucking dude, man. I'm like hearing all these like things, like the dude fucking someone tried to kill him once, and then he turned around and caught the guy, and like tortured him for like 2 or 3 days, like fucking shot him in the dick and shit like that, like in the basement, like he shot him in the ankles, the knees, like all types of, like this dude was a fucking killer, yeah. Yeah, and here he is smashing me in the head with a fucking gun. I mean, like I said, I don't really follow all that mafia shit, you know. I mean, I shouldn't say shit, but, you know, I don't want to mafia guy come up and put a cap in my head. I mean, we've had a lot of dealings. I mean, when you're out there, like I said, like how we were, stealing a lot of fucking motorcycles. And we were selling them, like I said, to Asian gangs downtown, man. You know, BTK, they used to buy, very nice guys, Vietnamese dudes, man. Used to buy fucking nice motorcycles off us, man. They'd give us big money, too, a lot more than these fucking other people, man. Believe me, we dealt with a lot of things. The Fook Ching gang, yeah, a lot of people downtown, but a lot. They were also out in Queens, too. You know, Asian gangs, deal with them, Alpo's bought motorcycles. I'll tell you something funny also. Getting back to JJ. Remember I was saying we were spray painting this motorcycle black, right? And then we just to rob drug dealers up in Harlem. So spray paint this whole fucking helmet like I described it, you know. Even robbed the dude that helped me out when I was in Spofford once, you know. Realized who it was, stopped what we were doing, said hello to him, shook his hand and left, you know. Around that time, Alpo comes in. Actually, no, it wasn't my birthday. It was a different time. But actually, yeah, you know, he's in the park. And Alpo always used to come to the park, man. He used to hang out with us. He's from the neighborhood. You know, it's not unusual or anything. I mean, we had no idea what he was up to. I mean, I saw that movie Paid in Full. I actually saw that movie with Joey TDS when it came out. He's like, yo, and I was like, what? Get the fuck out of here. That's supposed to be Alpo, man? I was like, bugger. I had no idea. You know, I mean, I knew he was up there doing stuff. But anyway, make a long story short, you know, comes up to us. He's like, yo, you motherfuckers out there robbing drug dealers uptown? So I'm like, no, come on, what the fuck you mean, man? No, we don't do that shit, you know. So he's like, yo, John, you know, John, because John had actually sold a lot of motorcycles, a lot. Like, they were much more friendlier than I was, you know. I was just a dude in the back. But I was like, no, come on, I'll make a Poe, you know. Yeah, yo, John, motherfuckers out there robbing motherfuckers. John was like, no, he started laughing, he points at the helmets right there. Like I said, this helmet, we spray painted black, drilled holes in it. It's got a piece of fucking thing, it looks like it's a piece of pizza slice cracked out of it. And it's got this white house paint that just drips all over it. The mask, the helmet, it's right there, you know, and that's with that with the KLR 650. I mean, the motorcycle we had parked down near the river. But fucking helmet's right there, that's like a fingerprint. He's like, yo, I don't give a fuck, man. Just, yo, don't fuck around my people up there. You know, like I said, we knew he was swinging shit, but we didn't know what level, you know. We just thought he was a dude on the corner, you know. But yeah, man, he was funny with that shit, man. He was always very nice, man. I don't know who am I to like or not like, but I guess I could say the movie portrayed him more like street, like, yo, this, that. And, like, he was actually, like, he spoke, to us anyway. Obviously, he was a chameleon, you know, he blended in wherever he has to go and shit. But we know how with us, man, we always had a good time. He's a very friendly guy, very intelligent conversations and shit. I mean, I don't know, maybe, you know, it's all business, like I said, a chameleon or something. But yeah, I can never say nothing bad about that. He was always very nice to us and everyone. Come down, hang out and shit like that, you know. Down on bicycles, motorcycles and shit, go about his business and stuff, you know. But, yeah. And here's another one. I'm explaining to you why I'm, I guess, a dick or a bully, the original question was. So anyway, and why I'm not scared to go writing graffiti in subways in the 80s by myself. It's because I was doing some crazy shit out there, man. Fucking bugging the fuck out, doing all types of crazy shit, you know. We were young, we didn't care. I mean, I stopped all this shit once. I got married in like 94? Yeah, no, before that even, 93, 92. When I got married, I stopped. I mean, my wife, Deborah, she was like, oh, dude, man, this is crazy. Like, John died like in 1 week, like 3 or 4 people were dead. And it was like, oh, this, that. It's like, yo, she was like, dude, man, you gotta get your shit together. You know, either come with me now up to the Bronx, or if not, peace. I don't want to see you no more, you know. So I was like, hey, no, baby, don't leave me. So I went with her up to the Bronx. Lived happily for a while, you know, until about 94, 95, 97, I think. That was my childhood sweetheart, you know. She's on Instagram and stuff. You know, I don't want to go blowing her name up and nothing. But, yeah. So I pretty much straightened out at that point. I continued writing graffiti after that. Yeah. I actually did a lot of graffiti with her. I did a lot of thieving with her. Me and her, we stole a lot of shit together. We were stealing a lot of shit, go out to Long Island and shit. There was even news articles with me and her stealing fucking birds, reptiles and shit, yeah. Fucking Burmese pythons. So they were pretty, you know, they were popular back then and they were cheaper. The big macaw parrots, you grab them fucking things, you put like a pillowcase over it. You quiet down. That was real. It was all over the news. It was in the newspapers and everything. This is probably early 90s, man. We were out in Long Island hitting all these pet shops, stealing big fucking cockatoos, all types of crazy birds and shit. But we had people who were buying them, so, you know, it was good. And they took good care of them. It's not like we're fighting these birds or something like pit bulls or some crazy shit like that. You know, they were taken good care of. But, yeah, here's a funny one I just thought of. You know, just to show you how nutty we were and the shit we were doing. And that's the funny thing, too, because a lot of people, I watch things, you know, and it's like everyone that's getting into, like, the galleries and stuff, obviously you don't want to be like, yo, fuck that shit, fuck that motherfucker up, well, I guess Coke 2 does that shit, but anyway, what happens is, a lot of guys are like, yo, this, that, I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? In my mind, I'm like, yo, they were nasty motherfuckers, man. You know, like, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna be me, you know what I mean? I did what I did, I'm redeemed now. I mean, I'm not gonna say I found God and all that shit, but, you know, I don't fuck around no more. Like I said, I live a perfectly legal life. But here's another funny one. This is about 85, 86. Once again, JJ, Sammy might have been at D3. Nah, D3, he was locked up. He was in juvenile shit, all spotted or some crazy shit upstairs. Yeah, D3, they got his ass. He was locked up for a while, actually. D3 was away. A lot of this shit was going down. It was me, Frankie Gator, which is Squirt, SQ, and JJ, 357, John Zavola. They're both dead now. Matter of fact, even with that Casso story, I read just recently he died from COVID. That's the reason I was bringing this story up, because I posted on my Instagram. A lot of people had comments about it, you know. But yeah, he passed away also, Casso. I mean, the guy fucking pistol with me, but, you know, fucking told on a lot of people, got a lot of people in trouble. Anyway, here's a good one. 4th Street. It was like I said, I thought it was D3, but I remember now. It's Frankie Gator, JJ, and me. We're on 4th Street, like Hell's Angels Clubhouse. You know, they had their headquarters. I shouldn't call it a clubhouse, it was their headquarters. Walking down the street, little, man. Like I said, John died before he even made it to be 18 years old. He was dead in a motorcycle accident in Queens. You know? Done. Like Frankie Gator, he died 2-3 years ago. But anyway, in front of this fucking Hell's Angels place, maybe a few buildings up from it. It's like almost in the middle of the block. It's a brown building, got a couple of garbage cans and shit. But in front of it, they got this parking spaces just for the Harleys, you know, for their motorcycles. It's like maybe 6 or 7 of them there, right? So we're watching this big, like, fucking nice one. I don't know, this is so far back. Like I said, John didn't even make it to 18. I'm 53 now. I was about 3 years older than him, maybe. Yeah, so 18, maybe. I was like 21 at that time. So Frankie Gator was 1 year older than me. 22. I'm walking. She's kind of a motorcycle, right? Big fucking Harley, man. With the big handlebars, the big sissy bar in the back. I believe it had like a fucking blue gas tank. It might have even been like a pistachio color. You know what? That motherfucking Hell's Angels might come after me for this story. But anyway, you know, so we're watching this fucking pulling in the guy. Oh, he's a Hell's Angels with long hair and shit. You know, backing the fucking thing up and shit, you know. Parks it. He gets off the fucking thing and leaves the fucking keys in the fucking car, in the fucking motorcycle. Leaves his keys in it. Like, yo, I guess they figure, yo, where the Hell's Angels ain't no one fucking with us. Yo, what do you think we did? Yo, what the fuck do you think we did? Yo, fuck that shit, man. Frankie Gator, John, the front, you know, we didn't want to just start it right there. Because these motherfuckers are right at it, you know what I mean? Plus, one thing I've learned in my life, fucking around motorcycles, is people know their motorcycle engine sound. They know that shit. Especially when you start getting like a Harley or like an outlaw type dude where he bars out the carbs. He knows every little fucking modification he's made to that motorcycle. He hears that shit starting up, and he knows that's his fucking boy right there. Yeah, people know their motorcycle. Like I said, especially when you start dealing with Harleys and shit like that. So the last thing you want to do is start that fucking thing up right in front of the place. You wouldn't make it off the block, you know. So we take it out the parking space, right? Like neutral and shit. Pull it like this. We start walking down the block. It's like First Avenue. Along the parked cars. No, this is, I swear, it's like 11 o'clock in the morning. 11 o'clock in the morning. Priests and shit. I remember there was a priest, because LaSalle Academy's right there. There's actually a priest, like, outside and shit. Like, we got this fucking, this wheel, right? JJ's got the inner part, the left steering wheel. Frankie's got the outer one. The cars go by this way. So the cars, the light changes, stops. So all the cars are starting to pile up at the light, right? So we're wheeling this thing by. Now I got it by, it had a big sissy bar on it. A big fucking sissy bar. We're wheeling the fucking thing like this, right? So we get like maybe 4 parking spaces away, right? There's like a HBO van that's coming up, right? He goes, meh, he honks his fucking horn and shit, you know? It's like, Frankie is actually talking to the guy, like, yo, back up, but it's that. When the guy actually swerves, almost, I think what happened is John saw the shit was going bad. JJ, at this point, turned around. Fucking Hell's Angels were outside the fucking place. It was like 6 or 7 of these dudes. looking like, yo, what the fuck are these people bugging? I mean, yo, there was people like walking dogs and shit looking at us like, yo, these people are fucking nuts. Oh no, they're not doing this shit, like right in front of me, like, yo, you know, that shit was wild, man. I think back on this crazy shit, yeah. So anyway, I'm stealing it. Well, John, he's like, yo, this shit ain't happening, bro. There ain't no way we're getting this bitch. Because, like I said, the HBO truck, it was like HBO van. This is back when they were doing like a lot of wiring. And they had the HBO, like, it looked like a rainbow flag or something on it. It was like orange, yellow, and black. And it had like an HBO swirl on. I remember it. And JJ hopped off from the thing, right? He jumped over the parked car onto the street and started running. At this point, I look, I see these fucking Hells Angels. They're like starting to come over, like, yo, what the fuck, man? You people are bugging. Like, it honestly took a minute for it to sink into their heads and shit. It's like time is moving slow. Like, and Frankie Gator, he's like, yo, fuck it. He's like, he's short too, but he's strong, man. We're all powerful, like strong, because we're always dragging like engine blocks and stealing motorcycles. We're just hauling in heavy shit your whole life. It's like a body in motion stays in motion, you know? So, very fit, you know, very fit individuals. But he's short, so he goes like this right under the fucking handlebars. Runs. At this point, I'm like this. I can't even go forward because I got a parked car here. A two-door parked car, and I'm right near the back door of the fucking thing. Got the HBO van here blowing his fucking horn. I got a bunch of Hell's Angels coming at me from that one. I'm dead serious. So at this point, Frankie Gator lets go, goes under. The steering wheel turns right into the fucking HBO truck. Now the light changes. HBO truck starts going. So the fucking, the head, I swear, the whole fucking front end of the fucking motorcycle, the fucking, the mirrors, the fucking headlight, the fucking everything, it just rolled right into the fucking van. As the van was like boom, it fell on the fucking floor. I'm like, yo, I hopped off that shit, yo, I started fucking running. Yo, they were like, oh, what the fuck, man? I swear they were like 4 or 5. I mean, I was gone, like a block and a half. I took off about a block and a half. I didn't even see them no more. I didn't stop running. I kept fucking running my fucking ass off. I knew I was just trying to get down the river. All behind me, like this is like, in Manhattan, it's the Village. You got Astor Place, like 4th Street. You know, around there, you got like 4th Street and stuff like that. So I was like running, and all throughout the whole neighborhood, all I hear is like these Harley Davidsons, like cruising all through the neighborhood, trying to find us and shit. I saw JJ and Frankie Gator nowhere. They were gone. Like they, you know, even at the lapse of moments that they took off separately already, so they probably didn't even bump into each other. They were, you know. I was like, yo, I remember all I heard was these fucking Harleys roll up and down the avenues and through the side streets. I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I eventually wind up in Tompkins Square Park, but that is scary. That is fucking scary. You're not sitting in a fucking train tunnel, there's no one in. Like, there's no boogeyman in a train tunnel. And I swear to God, man, that was fucking scary. Just hearing all these fucking Harley Davidsons all going through the East Village and shit, like, blah, 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 blah. You know what a Harley sounds like? That shit's like, yo. I swear, my shit was like this. I was like, yo, yo. I was like, yo, I figured if I get to the fucking river, man, you know, I'll jump in that shit if I got to, man. Because that's what you got to do in this situation. You got to go where they won't. Like, if you can't outspeed them, you got to out-crazy that ass. That's the bottom line, man. And it's funny, but it's true. Like I said, you know, I'm sitting there telling you a lot of crazy shit, but it's like D3 said to me once. It was some kind of shootout or something. Him, D3, Kid 1, 2, 3 other writers. One of them actually got shot in the ass. At a time like that, you know, we discussed this shit. I wasn't there. One dude wound up in the hospital, he got shot in the ass, I don't know. But, you know, if you think about it, in a situation like that, like if it's a police officer, right, you turn your back on him real quick. You know, so this way, he's not going to shoot you in the back, right? Now, if it's an actual shooter, you want to try and get thinner looking. You know what I'm saying? And it's like ass and elbows. That's what D3 said a long time ago, and that shit stuck with me, man. It's like ass and elbows. So what you want to do is get your ass up in the fucking air and your elbows. And you hide your upper torso behind your ass. And you run like, I mean, yo, it's for real. Like, you gotta run like a fucking Tyrannosaurus. But yeah, the one dude got shot right in the fucking ass, man. He went to the hospital, the whole shit. But yeah, it's crazy, but like, that's the type of shit, like the maneuvers that's in our heads, you know? Ass and elbows, yo, ass and elbows. Because what he means by ass and elbows, all you're going to see is ass and elbows. If you want to hide all your main shit, believe me, you get shot in the fucking arm, depending on what you get shot with, man. Fucking 45 would cut your arm clean off. Now, like I was saying, with a shotgun, like side by side, 12 gauge, that was my weapon of choice, because you think about this shit. Anyone in the street knows that shit's going to take your fucking head clean off. It ain't like a 9mm or something. You might duck and get popped in the shoulder or something like that. Or maybe you're in a wheelchair or something, you're still alive. You know what I mean? Like you get shot in the fucking spine or something like that. Shotgun, no. Shotgun, no. Your fucking head will no longer exist. Like it's gone. You know what I'm saying? If you're like that and you got that shit up a little bit, people are going to do what you say, man. Straight up. I mean, we robbed a lot of fucking people up in Harlem, man. A lot of fucking drug dealers, man. A lot of drug dealers. Stole a lot of drugs. I never sold drugs. I mean, I might have given, say a friend of mine might not have no weed. Like, yo, Rob, you think you could spare a joint? Here's $10 or something. You know, I'd give it to him or something. But other than that, I never sold. I sold fake drugs. I'd say it's sell fake drugs in Central Park there, in the Bandshell area. Sell fake mescaline. And get the plastic little, you know, little red things that come with the cap gun? As the caps, you put them in the thing, go bang, bang, bang. I used to take them cap things, you pop out the gunpowder with a pin. You take purple or blue, fucking Play-Doh, fill it in there, let that shit dry, and go sell that shit in the fucking metal, double barrel. Mescaline. Purple. Blue work too. Yeah. Just do all types of crazy shit, man. Just to make money, so. Like in my explanation there with this Anthony Casso, Spofford, fucking all these situations that occur, like, that's life, that's graffiti, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get it, man, dudes want to just like vibe out and do nice burners and talk about style and shit like that, you know? But like the inside writers, on the insides, that game was different. I never liked the fill-in game, I never got into that shit, and I'm not going to keep saying it, because it's apparently almost every episode, I'm like, yo, fuck them fill-ins, yo. But now getting back to you with this guy, apparently I stole a couple cans of paint from you or something. I mean, what do you want me to do? Say I'm fucking sorry or something? Come on, you're bugging. I don't even know if that shit happened. Like, it could be some 10-year-old in Ohio and shit. So no, man, it's the breaks, man. I've been robbed in train tunnels. Oh yeah, I've been robbed. I've had my face cut open, 149 stitches clean through. The little piece came hanging down like this, like a fucking French fry. I was with Sharon, Arson, 156 crew, meth, and me, yeah. I got caught out there, meth got stabbed in the fucking eye, sliced down his head like that. Fucking ripped his whole shit. Lucky thing the eye is in, and you got this bone here and this bone, you know, it goes like that. So his eye didn't actually get fucked up, but yeah, man, you know. Shit was like that. I mean, I'm sorry, everything's not candy coated. Like, why should you have a free pass and not the next man? Hell yeah, that's the way I saw it. I mean, I also, originally when I went in there playing, you know, graffiti, the game of graffiti or whatever, I went in with all good intentions, I really did. But at the era when I went in, there was no more of that beautiful shit, man. There was no more of all that fucking part PBS in it. It was just a bunch of idiots running around doing fillings and fucking bombing the insides, and I was just one of them idiots, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Lace, he had Kaya, it was an amazing artist. Kaya, C-A-Y-A, 357, he's done some very nice burners, very nice pieces, blockbusters, shit like that. Sash was also KK1, 357. Come on with the Honeymooners, whole cars and shit like that, man. Maybe one day I'll get him on here. And I don't know, he might be a little camera shy or something, but maybe I'll talk about it. Yeah, man, we had a lot of people that did a lot of very beautiful shit. Like I said, Lace 357 has done some amazing whole cars, beautiful fucking wild style pieces, simple style, straight letters, shit like that's been around. Like I say, I used to bomb with Smiley back in the days, you know. Yeah. Ass and elbows, yo. Ass and elbows. You gotta cock your ass up so you hide all this shit. You don't want to get shot in the fucking heart. But I mean, you think about it also, ass and elbows with a fucking shotgun. Now, let me tell you, you know, ass and elbows don't mean shit. You blow a motherfucker's ass clean off with a shotgun, come on. Especially when that shit's already sawed off, about fucking 12 inches, the size of a fucking sneaker or something. Boom! Hell no, ass and elbows, my ass. You're done, bro. You'll be like that fucking head from fucking In Living Color. Remember the police officer head that's thrown her? Like, that'll be all that's left, man. Tell you, man, she can't fuck with no shotgun, man. I don't know. And the reason I like the side by side is it looks more gruesome. You know, it looks more like, oh my God. You know, because I've actually ran up, I don't know if I might have just said this, but I've actually ran up the pumps, sawed off. First off, you can't really saw too much because you gotta do the pump action and shit like that. But second off, when you hold that shit up, it looked like a fucking mop stick you cut in half, like some kind of metal mop stick. You can have a motherfucker, come on, man. But when they see double barrel, side by side, next to each other, they know that's some fucking shit that could take them out right then and there. And they fucking go right, they comply. And motherfucker like, yes sir, I got you, man, here you go. You know, I got a little, you know, there. Please don't shoot me, you know, for real. It's crazy shit. But, and even Kevin Childs was shot, well I don't know if shot was out, but talking about the crazy white boys downtown. You know, Don Diva, Feds magazine, Kevin Childs, Alpo and them. From uptown, even like the crazy white boys downtown, the fake cop cars and shit. Yeah, man, that was us. I mean, I don't know, there was so many different stories behind that fucking cop car. I originally believed it was, I was under the impression it was purchased from 205th Street off of Webster Avenue at the lot where they auction off cars. Then later, Nicky Perry, he's dead now, God rest his soul. Yeah, he got shot on 89th Street, they murdered him. He got shot and killed on 89th Street. But apparently, he had the keys to it. So, you know, I thought he bought it up there 205th off of Webster Avenue, that big auction lot. But then I heard he got it for cheaper from a fucking impound lot. Something like that, or auction, a police auction, yeah. And then we're on the 59th Street Bridge with that shit. Fucking getting some kind of shit goes on, fender bender, this, that, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, the guy was like a cop or something he hit. Like off duty or on duty, undercover, or some crazy shit. We smashed into, yo, I just looked, Nicky was gone, man. Nicky just started running. He didn't care about his life, yo, like traffic and shit. So I was like, yo, I'm out, man. What the fuck? I got onto the running path. You know, the actual walker path where people take bikes and I got onto that and I saw them with flags like they were coming. So I had to climb up to the upper deck. I took that shit down right to where my mother used to live. I went home. I was like, hide me and shit. Like, oh my God. Fuck. But later on, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I guess you would run and hide from it because of robbing a lot of drug dealers uptown. You know, I remember one time the dealer was like this. You know, we pulled up, and we never said we were cops, and it just happened to be a cop car. You know, I mean, it's not like a blue and white with sirens on it. Like, of course not. But it's like an under DT car. You know, like a plain regular car, cop car. But I once pulled up. I got the shotgun. He was like, yo, hold up, man, you ain't no cop, man. I'm like, what the fuck's the matter, man? Run your fucking shit, yeah. like, what do you think? Oh shit, he knows we're not cops. Like, we're gonna put our guns away and go home and shit. Like, all of a sudden, it was like he felt strong. Like, yo, you ain't no cop, man. I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, hello, you know, like, for real, he didn't have to talk much when he had that old shotgun, man. Yeah, but all that shit's behind me, man. Shit, I stopped, like I said, 89, 90, something like that. Yeah, when them GPSs came out. I keep saying GPS. That actually came out later with LoJack. And even them LoJacks, the first time they sweep that shit up, they got my boy, we're going to call him the Flying Hawaiian. Yeah, motherfuckers are laughing from uptown. They know the Flying Hawaiian. Yeah, they got him, man, and his whole family, man. Well, his mother and him. Yeah, they were actually, they had like a whole fucking, like a lot of land in Queens, and they had that shit all zinced up with big thick fence zinc around it, a bunch of stolen shit in there, and it just kept going, stealing shit, parking there, figuring out who's gonna buy this, that, blah, blah, blah. Fucking yo, that shit, LoJack brought them right there. Boom, that's how they open. Fuck that auto theft shit, I'm done. I ain't fucking with it no more. Plus JJ died, I never got on another motorcycle since. I mean, I've hopped on the back of a couple of mopeds and shit like that. I rode a few of those fucking things, but yeah, motorcycles. I mean, I'm like 53, July 14th. Today's 7 more days. Next week, I'll be 53 years old. I haven't been on a motorcycle since then. Yeah, since I was like 20, 21 years old. Took a lot of motorcycles. Like I said, 89. I moved up to the Bronx, changed my life around, you know. Went to Lehman College, took a couple of courses and shit, you know. I redeemed. Yo, take care, people. I'm fucking sweating like a dog, yo. I got everything closed, all the windows, every fucking thing. You know, because outside, You know, I'm right here near the FDR Drive, so all the cars and shit. And if I leave my window open, you hear my people and shit, you know, yo, what up, Rob? You know, all that shit. So I gotta close the window. If I put my fan on, it makes noise. I don't have an air conditioner in here. My son's got an air conditioner, but I just don't rock with that shit. Like, I lived in Jamaica, the West Indies for a couple of years. Like, I love the heat, man. It's good. It's like all the antioxidants and shit, you know. It's peace out, people. Take care. Yo, be safe. I'm going to get back into this shit maybe like around September. I mean, definitely sometime. I'm actually kind of fiending. Like, I want to start just keep doing it again and doing it again. But my son, he prints this stuff. He puts it on like it's his computer. And, you know, it's my YouTube account, but it takes up time from his life. And it's the summertime. I just really like to chill and like be like home. You know, I always love the summertime, man. Always. Summertime is always my shit, man. I go to Central Park. I mean, there's always something to do in Manhattan. New York City is the best in the fucking world, man. You know, they're saying all these people are moving out, man. All these New Yorkers, people are leaving New York, man. You would never fucking hear, man. You fucking transplant motherfucker. Fuck you, man. New York, so nice. They named it twice. I love this fucking place. I've tried to live other places. I've tried to live in other countries, Jamaica and West Indies. Got in a bunch of trouble there, too. Got all chopped up and shit. I guess it's just the way I am, man. So that's what it boils down to, I guess. It's the way I am. Batshit crazy. Like, in a sense, back then I did a lot of crazy shit. I mean, I believe at such a young age, just out there, like I said, like fighting for your life in Spofford, you know. Think about them words, man. Fighting for your life in Spofford. Like, yo, that shit, freaking 15-year-old boy, about 135 pounds, man. I was getting the shit kicked out of me, man. From then straight on through, yo. Like, yo, it wasn't even wins and losses. It was survival, man. Like, honestly, like, it's just, yo, until I got that little piece of fucking metal, man, and that shit just straightened everything out. I did one dude lovely. I figured, you know, this shit, I was, like, excited. Like, I got goosebumps. Like, wow. Wow. And I'm like, yo, this shit, we're good. Like, yo, this shit's the peacemaker, motherfucker. You know, like, yeah. But then I guess, too, you wear that. So you get... You know, it's a different walk. Before, I was probably like, oh, shit, please. You know, but once I had that shit, it was like, huh. You know what I mean? Yo, take care, people. I don't know about this, I don't know what I don't know. Fuck 'em. Peace. Hey. All right. Now, I always watch my videos before I post them, and I always do a little commentary afterwards like this. And there's a few things I want to make clear from the video you just watched. One is the term fancy Puerto Ricans that JJ357 is used to describe Anthony Casso. Actually, later on in life, we find out it's an Italian guy involved with the mafia. So the reason he used that term is, like I explained, I'm facing this way, he's facing that way. He says, people, someone's coming. And I said, who? Cops. So he must have looked at them and I don't know who the fuck they are. They're a bunch of fancy Puerto Ricans. It's just a term, it's nothing racial. He's describing to me who the fuck is creeping up on us. So that's pretty much the term he used. And the guy did look Spanish. I don't know, maybe he was getting his suntan. I mean, down in Florida or something like that. And olive complexion. Some Italian dudes are dark and stuff. I got nothing along against my Italian goombas, you know, all that shit. JJ is the one that came up with the term, and he's dead now, many years. He died, never even made it to 18 years old. It's one thing I want straight now. And in that thing with Anthony Casso, I forgot to mention, as soon as Anthony Casso pulled out that 9mm and smashed me in the face with it, Frankie Gator was on the FJ1200. He took off. He was gone. He was nowhere to be found. Gone. Took off. And, I mean, I had no gun. He had no gun. JJ had no gun. The guy's got, you know, he's bashing me in the face with it. What the fuck? Of course Frankie's going to take off. So, that's that. And now another one is, when I left to go live with my wife and get married and everything in the Bronx was 1989. I want to make sure I didn't get that year wrong, or my year of getting married and my year of getting divorced. God forbid my ex-wife ever sees this. She'd be pretty upset that I don't even remember these dates. So, in 1989, John had already died, JJ357. The trains have already gotten clean, And the motorcycle game was already getting fucked up. Either at that point or shortly after that, LoJack came out. Now, like I explained before, it was 1989 when my wife-to-be was like, yo, Rob, I think 3 people had died in 1 week or a week and a half or something like that. So she's like, yo, Rob, man, straight up, I'm not doing this no more. I'm leaving you. Come with me now up to the Bronx, or if not, I don't have nothing to do with you. So, no, no, please, baby, don't leave me. Please don't leave me. So I went up to the Bronx with her. And that was 1989. And like I said, after JJ had passed away, I'd never been on another motorcycle. I rode a few scooters after that, a few mopeds, shit like that, but never another motorcycle or anything I'd consider a motorcycle. Now, yeah, that was 1989. There was really nothing going on here no more. And like I said, either that year or a couple of years after that or whatever, LoJack came out. And the first LoJack case, like I said, the Flying Hawaiian, had something that had LoJack in it. I believe it was a car, actually. He took this car to his lot. He has a fenced-in lot on the avenue, on the thing, out in Queens, right off the avenue there. Fenced-in lot, with a bunch of stolen cars in it, and motorcycles. So now this one LoJack car, he rode into that place. Boom, they found everything. It was all over the news. Him and his mother got in trouble, went to jail and everything, and they're out now. I honestly haven't seen the guy in, wow, over 20-something years. The Flying Hawaiian. Yeah, yeah, he was from this neighborhood. But, yeah, so after that, I didn't steal no more motorcycles. There's another important thing. Anthony Casso, right after that gas pipe Anthony Casso incident, I swear 4 or 5 days later we were stealing motorcycles from fucking Gramercy Park. Didn't give a fuck at all, any way, shape, or form. It was just the way it is. Now, in me explaining these things, it's kind of the reason I'm not really too scared about writing graffiti by myself in the train tunnels, on subways. I'm doing a lot of crazy shit out in these streets. You see, now what graffiti is to me, and what I was trying to accomplish, might not be what every other graffiti writer saw graffiti as, or what they were trying to accomplish. Now, at the very end, yeah, so towards the end, it was pretty hairy with the graffiti and them train tunnels, man. It was wild, man. We were running around like the savage sort of fucking cone man and shit. I actually had a saw, like a fucking saw you would cut through wood with, like a 2x4, you know, big square thing. This way, if you're on the fucking catwalk, you have the train here, the train wall here to the tunnel. You got this fucking saw that can keep people away. And you really won't damage them too much. I mean, yeah, you can rip a big chunk out of their face, but they'll be alive. It's not like you're murdering anyone. But I was also running around with a machete and shit. I'm gonna get into some of the writers I pulled that shit out on too, man. I mean, yo, it was like fucking for real, like Robert E. Howard, like fucking novels, like Savage Sword of Conan. I mean, that's the way we were approaching it. Sorry if you weren't on that page, yo. You know, I mean, like this guy with his little cans that I stole from him. I mean, yo. It was the fucking way it was, man. No passes, man. Fuck that. It was wild, man. There was no trains hardly. We were all fighting for nothing, man. Like, motherfuckers, this, that. Like, it was wild shit. 89. Yeah, that's when I left, went up to the Bronx with my wife. I mean, think about it. Trains are dead. Motorcycles were dead. John was dead. Even the music started to suck back then, man. Even the fucking music, man. Like, no good rock. It was all, you know, starting to go towards rap and gangster rap. And, I mean, I myself, I don't listen to that shit. I just keep listening to old rock and roll and shit, you know? But, yo, I'll see you guys on September 1st, all right? Take care. Be safe. Peace.